That being said, I don't know what I'm doing, okay? This is a first for my ancestry. They can't help me. They can't help me. They're applauding me. I love them for that, right? But they can't help me. I don't know what I'm doing. So forgive me as I make a few mistakes, okay? This podcast might be one of them. I might be saying too much. Hello, everyone. My name is Leslie. I am your host of the Awkward Turtle podcast. And today we're going to be talking about my current mental state. Let's talk about it. As always, I'm alongside my lovely co-host, Emmy Wemmy, Emerald Lee, Suriel. So today my podcast is inspired by my cousin. We had a lovely 12-hour shift at work because it was back to school night. I mentioned I was an educator. And I decided to take her on a little cruise to Queens. And she was actually sharing with me how she currently feels and where she's at, right? I won't reveal too much about my cousin because that's my cousin. However, I resonated so much with what she was saying. Let's get into it. I was reflecting on this yesterday in therapy. I did share in my intro that I am a avid therapy client. I personally go to therapy because I like to have a safe space where I feel seen. Being seen is very important to me. And I can just yap to no end and somebody's listening. I think this is part of why I'm doing this subconsciously because I don't know who's listening, but I know somebody feels me. And it makes me feel good that I can at least help one person with whatever that they're going through. I feel like all of the people that I love have kept me in a box, right? And it's a box that I perpetuate, right? It's something that I began by being the way that I am. And it's been upheld by these people because they want consistency from me. They want me to continue to be this person for them because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel safe. It makes them feel seen. And it makes them feel supported. And genuinely, I love to be that person for them. I genuinely do. It's nothing that I like to take away from people. I actually really struggle removing it from people, even if they're abusive to me. Imagine that. Genuinely, where I've been is, I feel like everybody's my fucking op. Not actually. You're not. I don't think anyone is out to get me. However, no one is helping me. They just want me to help them. And like, it's something that the people that are closest to me can see from other people, but they can't see that they're doing it themselves. And that is so frustrating for me. It's so frustrating when people can tell me until their face is purple that someone's using me for their benefit, but they're not telling me how they're using me for their benefit. Or they can't see how they've upheld these same standards for me. Or they may feel more entitled than whoever it is. Like, nah, they're not that, so they can't access that from you. But me? Yeah, I can do that. Because I'm this to you. Because I do this for you. And I do agree that some relationships are... I do agree that some relationships are, you know, give and take. As they should be. Like, there should always be something that you're giving to somebody and something that you're getting in return, because that is just genuinely a relationship. I don't want to make it seem like it's transactional. However, there should be some type of reciprocation, and it doesn't always equate to the same thing. It could be different love languages shown from both people. And I think that as long as you're showing the other person love in the way that they like to receive it, it can be fine. But there's a gray area, right? And that's what we're talking about right now. I am genuinely caught up in the question of how much of you wanting me around is because I benefit you in this way, right? And as somebody, trauma dump alert, as somebody who is on the spectrum of autism and who is also on the spectrum of ADHD, I have struggled with people and their competitiveness my entire life. I completely stray from competition in relationships, in games, in sports. It is such a turnoff for me because people really get rock hard at the idea of winning. And I love winning. I love the idea. I understand it. I understand wanting to be in that number one spot. I don't understand being in competition with anyone but yourself. Like, it perplexes me why I would see somebody, whether I love them or not, but another human being, and be like, I'm going to be better than you. And that's my whole personality. I don't give a fuck if I'm better than you. I give a fuck if I'm better than me yesterday. Am I spitting? Background. I'm a middle child, okay? I got ignored a lot. I also require a lot of attention, Pookie. A lot. I love being dramatic. I love being the center of attention for the people that I love. Not everyone, okay? I do like attention from the people that I love. Attention is going to be another podcast episode. I won't get too deep into that. However, the people that really care about what I have going on in here and what I have going on in here, or just anything about me, I genuinely cherish. However, I am the most skeptical about. Those are the people that I cut off first. And it's like this fucking battle between wanting to be seen and then feeling too seen. Like, when people read me, or they're just like, yo, why didn't you... One of my students, for example, I told them, like, guys, my energy, trash. It's trash today. I'm nearing my cycle. Please ignore this vibe I got going on. It has nothing to do with y'all. And one of my students was like, yeah, you don't have your coffee today. I said, girl, you watching me a little too hard, girl. But she was right. She was right. Oh, my God. In that moment, I was like, damn. Even the little people pay attention to me. The little people especially pay attention to me. And it's really me v me. Like, wanting to be seen, you're seeing me too much. Like, you're paying too much attention, you know? And I think that's like middle child syndrome coded as fuck. I don't even fear exploitation. Like, that's not even one of the fears that I have when it comes to sharing my truest, most deepest feelings, fears. There was one person who I credit to this day, and genuinely, like, I don't even talk to this person anymore, but like, we still have each other on socials. And we used to work together at the Apple store. And I remember I used to always check in with him about like his life and his situation. And I checked in on him every time we worked together. This was like my favorite, like, bestie coworker. You see each other and you're like, yo, oh my God, I'm so happy we're working together, right? And I would always make it a point to check on him. And there was a day that we had our breaks at the same time. And he was like, today, you're going to tell me what's going on with you. You always checking in on me and how I'm doing and what I got going on in my mental health. Today, we're going to talk about you, right? Like, I care about you. I want you to be able to express yourself. And I'm like, whoa, just take it easy, man. Like, I didn't even know how to react to this, because what do you mean you want to talk about me? I make it a point to talk about other people. And it's not even because... It's not like I don't want to talk about me. I love talking about me. This was a process to get here. However, I just never know how people are going to receive me. I never know how people are going to receive the information that I'm giving them. I never know if they truly care. And that's a big trigger of mine. If I'm talking to you and I feel like you could give a less about what I'm saying, why am I going to continue this conversation? Why would I even start it in the first place? Why would I hurt my own feelings like that? Like, you would think that my biggest fear in sharing myself and my thoughts and my deepest, darkest secrets would be exploitation. But genuinely, I don't care if you're going to tell your friends. I don't care if you're going to tell your boyfriend. I don't care if you're going to tell your mom. Love that you're talking about me. However, I know that I would never exploit the people that I love or the people that share things with me, right? And so that's not ever the first thing that comes to mind. And I genuinely think, like, we project how we are onto other people. And I do that to a fault in other ways. In this way, I I fear being seen. I don't know if that makes sense or if anyone resonates with that. W's in the chat if you do. If I'm sharing these things with you, are you going to shame me? Are you going to judge me? Are you going to make me feel fucking stupid for feeling like this? Like, those are my fears. Another facet of this realization, or like just this rut that I'm going through, is like, I feel like all of the relationships around me are crumbling. Like, separate issues, completely separate issues. Not like relationships outside of me, like my personal relationships are crumbling. And I'm reevaluating them entirely. And I'm like, how many of these relationships are being upheld because of me? How many of these relationships are solely for the benefit of having me? How many of these relationships are serving me at all? And the answer is very little of them. And genuinely, I don't think it's because of the other person solely, right? There is an aspect of relationships failing because you're outgrowing this person, or you're outgrowing this relationship, and you're in a new part of your life where this relationship no longer serves you. However, I do take accountability in the fact that I suck at setting boundaries, especially with people that I've known for so long. Like, these are people that are family. These are people that are basically family. These are people that I was in relationships with, right? I see the potential in people, and I keep them around for that potential. Like, you're going to be good to me eventually. You're going to be to me what I am to you eventually. But that's not reality. We have to accept the people in our lives for who they are, right? And when you can fully accept someone for who they are, I don't know that love exists without condition, but to me, that is unconditional love. And if I personally cannot accept you for who you are, because I continue to romanticize this version of you that does not exist, that exists in my brain, that is some futuristic person who is coming later and is going to save the day and is going to be who I need them to be, I'm not seeing you for who you are. So I'm doing the exact opposite of what I want done for me. I want to be seen for who I am today, right? I also know that I am an ever evolving person. Like, I'm not going to consistently be this person, which I'll bring back the box piece that I mentioned, like keeping me in a box. I know that I'm constantly evolving. I like to call myself a shapeshifter, even just bodily. Like, if you see me in 6 months from now, I'm going to have a different look. I know myself. I'm growing my hair. I'm probably going to be a little slimmer because I'm in this gym, honey. But I assume that of other people, when a lot of people actually like to stay the same, or they don't know anything different and they want to stay the same, and that keeps them safe, or this has kept them safe their whole lives. So that to say, where I am right now, if I can't accept you for who you are in this present moment, I will remove myself from the equation at the cost of being avoidant, at the cost of making you feel abandoned. I hate that idea, but it's genuinely what is serving me in this moment. And I've had to cut off people for that same reason. Like, I continuously hurt my own feelings by believing that you are going to be a different person. What if you don't want to be a different person? What if you like who you are? What if you've accepted who you are? What if you don't have the capacity to change? And I'm just continuously seeing you as this person that you're not, you know? That's not conducive to what I'm trying to do here. And it's not helpful to me. I have abandoned myself at the cost of keeping relationships for as long as I've lived. It is part of why I moved states, okay? I'm originally from Florida. I moved to New York seeking self-awareness, seeking isolation, seeking a safe space to discover myself. I think that I have cultivated that. I think that I currently, in the space that I am, I have finally gotten my own place, and I'm able to isolate, and I'm able to learn more about myself, and I'm able to just continue to discover parts of myself that I never had the capacity to, because I'm the first person in my bloodline to live alone, man or woman, okay? And obviously, shout out to the mothers in my family, okay? obviously you did it alone because them kids did not help you pay that rent, okay? I commend you 100%. We have the same like level of having to pay for everything. However, it's not alone if you're living with your child, right? And I do have a child in the form of an animal that also doesn't have to pay rent. However, this is the first time that somebody in my family has been able to live by themselves. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know that I'll feel satisfied forever. But I told myself, if I can live alone for 1 year, I think I'll be that much better for it. And I don't want to make it about that. However, I'm thankful and grateful to have this space. I literally had to remind myself that this morning because I was so aggy and so tired. And like being a woman, like imagine being a man. All the problems that you have as a man, okay? Because man's lives are so hard. And then imagine having a period on top of it. Ruin your whole fucking week, brother. Ruin your whole fucking half of the month because that luteal phase, shorty. Yeah. That rage followed by sadness. Yeah. Y'all could actually never. That's pretty much all I have on that. Whenever I have a new discovery, I'll share it with y'all. But that's pretty much where my mental space has been at, and that's what's occupying my brain. And I do want to take up more space in my relationships, and I do want to be able to set appropriate boundaries. I think that the way that I'm going to be for a little bit might be off-putting to people. And again, this entire rant is inspired by my lovely cousin. And when I'm dropping her off in this crusade to Queens, I tell her to be nice to herself. She tells me, you be nice to yourself. And I'm like, you know what? I am being nice to myself. I'm being mean to everybody else. And she said, period. Literally, my period's coming. No, TMI. Should I cut that out? So I might be a little mean to others, but I'm not going to be mean to myself because that was the majority of my life, okay? Being mean to myself because I wasn't able to be mean to others. So please forgive me if I am a little intolerable these days. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. That's all I have. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning into the Awkward Turtle podcast. Thank you for everyone who voted for my name, my title. I actually love it so much. And I did consider the other one because there were a lot of votes for Let's Be Honest, right? I love Let's Be Honest. It sounds so good off the tongue. However, it exists already, and it is a lovely lesbian couple. And you know what? I'm going to let them have that, okay? We're going to trademark this one, though. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to me. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye. That being said, I don't know what I'm doing, okay? This is a first for my ancestry. They can't help me. They're applauding me. I love them for that, right? But they can't help me. I don't know what I'm doing. So forgive me as I make a few mistakes, okay? This podcast might be one of them. I might be saying too much. All I ask is for some grace while I make these mistakes, okay? I'm 29. I'm learning. I'm with you. Let's make them together, okay? That way we can tell our kids all of our messy ass stories while they make even messier ones. Ashe.